Hey there, welcome to the Millennial Book Junkie. My name is Monique and I am having a crisis, but today we are talking about what books I'm going to read in February. And the crisis is, what books am I going to read in February? Today's video is going to be all about my February TBR, and I honestly stood in front of my bookshelf for a full 5 minutes and had a little bit of a mental breakdown because I could not decide what books I wanted to read in February. Now, I have a good amount of unread books in my shelf. I probably at least 40 books right now that are on my shelf unread, and I want to read all of them. So that's the problem. How do I narrow down all these books into just 4? Because I usually read 4 and then I read one with my book club. And my book club hasn't met yet, so I'm not sure what that 5th one will be. If I do read that in February or not, I'm not sure. So I usually pick 4. That's usually how much I can get through in a month anyways. And today I just could not decide. I was like, I picked up Karen Slaughter, I picked up I'll show you what I picked up, but I picked up a Harlan Coben and I was like, I don't know what I want. I picked up Sherry Lapina and I was like, what do I feel like? So I finally settled on 4, and I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason on why I settled on these 4, but I will share with you the 4 that I plan to read on this very lovely, love-filled month of February. So I just finished reading God of the Woods, and sometimes when you finish reading a book, in order to figure out what book you want to read next, you kind of have to pick your vibe. And right now I'm in like a woodsy vibe. I posted a video recently, I'll link it up above and down below, of my review of the God of the Woods, and I really just kind of want to stay in the woods. So I knew that like my first book in February, or my second, had to really relate to the woods. So let me share with you what I'm reading in February. The first book I'm reading in February is my very first ARC. I know. I used to get ARCs a really long time ago when I was just out of college, and then, I kind of slowed down and I lost all connection to that. And so now I'm back and I got my very first ARC, and it's a book called What She's Hiding by Art Bell. It is going to be released in March, on March 25th. And it was promoted to me as it was sold to me as a political thriller. And I thought, you know what? All you had to do was say thriller and I'll take it. So, some literature. So that's the book that I'm gonna start reading in February because I want to put my review up before the book comes out, which I will. So, but I wanna start reading this one in February. It's called What She's Hiding. Apparently it is for readers of Harlan Coben and Laura Dave, which is great because I just read Laura Dave and I really liked The Night We Lost Him, so I'm excited. It is a gripping modern-day noir thriller featuring a hotshot lawyer unexpectedly drawn into a web of violence and intrigue by the ex-wife he hasn't spoken to since their bitter divorce. Written by the former president of Court TV. Oh, maybe Art Bell is the former president of Court TV. That's interesting. Essentially, this book is about a man who has an affair with a woman named Leslie Dunlop, and I guess they end up getting married, so I don't know if it was quite an affair, who knows, haven't read it yet, obviously, but anyway, he gets into a marriage with this girl named Leslie, and he's a lawyer, and apparently their marriage just did not work. Lots of secrets, lots of lies just went down the drain. But then later, maybe like years later, I'm not sure, she storms into his office and is like, you need to give me $250,000. And he's like, what? And so I guess this leads down this crazy journey of like Russian mob and private investigators helping him. I'm not sure, but it seems like a really interesting thriller, to say the least, and I'm really excited to read it. Apparently, Art Bell masterfully weaves a Norrish tale of suspense and emotional turbulence. We are all looking for a little emotional turbulence sometimes. as a dangerous woman draws Henry ever further into a high-stakes game that neither one of them may survive. Oh my gosh. Okay, that sounds really good. Okay, I'm excited to read this one. It kind of, I don't know, reminds me of a Lisa Scottline book. Or Scottolini. I think it's Scottolini. Anyway, I'm excited to read this book. So this is going to be the first one that I'm reading in February. This was actually an easy decision because this arc is coming out in March. So I was like, okay, I have to read this one. So anyway, there you go. The next book I'm reading in February is Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning. And I really wanted to read this book because I am on a woods vibe high since I just read The God of the Woods, like I said, and I needed a little more woods in my life. So I am finally reading this book. And when I tell you, I have been wanting to read this book. I picked it up from Barnes & Noble and I kept it next to me while I worked at my desk for like a week because I just really was excited about this purchase. And so I really can't wait to read it. Okay, here's what it's about. After sitcom star Willow tweets herself into infamy and stumbles blind drunk into a swimming pool, her agent ships her off to Camp Castaway. Nestled deep in upstate New York, Castaway is a summer camp for adults. Yes, bring this back. Who are desperate to leave their mistakes behind. No real names, no phones, no way to call for help. Willow's fellow campers seem okay. Her own favorite actress is even there, making a s'more. And did that jaded writer Danny just wink at her? But the peaceful vibe is shattered when one of the campers vanishes. Okay, this sounds exactly like The God of the Woods. She'll take it. And Willow finds a mutilated doll's head in her room with a threatening message rolled up inside. Terror grips the group. Campers begin to lose their heads, literally, and disturbing past deeds come to light. I'm really excited about this. I mean, to go from a beautiful, haunting story of the woods from Liz Moore and then to this, like, heads falling off in the woods, I love it. I'm here for this whole transition, but like woods, I'm just really excited about this. So this is gonna be my second book in February. Okay, my third book in February is a Sherry Lapina. I just need a gripper, you know? You just need something to tie you in, get you locked in, something you can't put down. And I have only read 2 Sherry Lapina books, The Couple Next Door and Everyone Here Is Lying. And this will be my third book, The End of Her. Have you read it? Let me know, because I really have enjoyed all of Sherry Lapina's books so far. I mean, I didn't really like the ending of Everyone Here Is Lying, but I really am excited about this one. So let's hear what it's about. Stephanie and Patrick are adjusting to life with their colicky twin girls. The babies are a handful, but even as Stephanie struggles with the disorientation of sleep deprivation, there's one thing she's sure of: she has all she's ever wanted. Then Erica, a woman from her husband's past, appears and makes a disturbing accusation. Patrick had always said his wife's death was an accident, but now Erica claims that his wife's death was a murder. Patrick insists that he's innocent, that this is nothing but a blackmail attempt, but still, Erica knows things about Patrick, things that make Stephanie begin to question her husband. Ooh, not good. Stephanie isn't sure what or who to believe. As Stephanie's trust in her husband begins to falter, Patrick stands to lose everything. Is Patrick telling the truth? Is Erica the persuasive liar Patrick says she is? Or has Stephanie made a terrible mistake? How will it end? Cue Taylor Swift. How did it end? Okay, I'm really excited about this one. I really needed Sherry Lapina. And actually, I did learn something about Sherry Lapina. I think she wrote non-thriller books before this. I don't know, someone told me something on Instagram. I thought that was really interesting, so I'll have to look that up. The fourth book I'm reading in February gives me kind of like Valentine's Day vibes because it's got pink on it. It's called Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. This was a book that I got at a silent book club event where you go and you read with a bunch of strangers, and at the end we ended up having a book swap. It was like blind date with a book because it was in Christmas, so it was like a gift exchange, and we all brought a wrapped book and we put the genre title on top of the book, of the wrapping. And so at the end of our reading segment, we each got to pick a book if we brought a book. And this was the book that I picked. I did not know it was this book, obviously, but it did say, you know, thriller, female author, and I was like, sold. So I got this one, Rachel Hawkins, and Entertainment Weekly calls it a literary pina colada, which it kind of gives that vibe from the cover. Anyway, One Island, beautiful, wild, and strange. Moreau Island is a desolate spot in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with a mysterious history of shipwrecks, cannibalism, and even rumors of murder. It's the perfect spot for the most adventurous traveler to escape everything, except the truth. Can't escape that. 6 visitors. 6 stunning 20-somethings are about to embark on a blissful, free-spirited journey filled with sun-drenched days and intoxicating nights. Blink twice, anyone? But as it becomes clear that the group is even more cut off from civilization than they initially thought, it starts to feel like the island itself is closing in. Countless secrets. Oh dear. When one person goes missing and another turns up dead, the remaining friends wonder what dark currents lie beneath this impenetrable paradise. And who else will be swept under its secluded chaos? With its island gothic sensibility, sexy suspense, and spine-tingling reimagining of an Agatha Christie classic, Reckless Girls Will Wreck You. I want to be wrecked. So I'm really excited. Have you read any of Rachel Hawkins' books? Let me know in the comments because I have never and I would like to. And when I saw her name, I was like, Paula Hawkins, is that you? I think that's the girl that did The Girl on the Train, right? Paula Hawkins. I always think of her when I see Rachel Hawkins and it confuses me. But this is not that. This is Rachel, and I'm excited to read this one. I will most likely read a 5th book in February, and it will most likely be the book club pick that my book club will pick, and we are going to have our meeting in early February. So once that is picked, I will know my 5th book, but you'll know in my February wrap up what that book is if I even got to it in February, and I'll definitely be telling you about all these books. So thank you so much for watching. What books are you planning to read in February? I am so curious because especially if you like horror and thriller, like what are you reading in this month of like hearts and roses and Valentine's and Super Bowl? So let me know what you're reading, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this content, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.